It's Boxing Insider Radio.
How dare them even to challenge me, these fighters, with their primitive boxing skills. You know what I mean? They're as good as dead. I'm going to show you how great I am.
It's about how much you can take and keep moving forward.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
Boxing Insider Radio, bringing you the very best in boxing from around the world.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to BoxingInsider.com radio. I'm Larry Goldberg, and I am joined again by the man who started this podcast with me 37 episodes ago, the one and only Jose Guzman. Jose, how are you?
Excuse me. Let me introduce myself. And fighting out of the red corner, from the Bronx, New York, Jose Papi Champu Guzman. I'm back, baby. I'm back.
We missed you, Jose. We did. We really did. This has been a very tough quarantine.
Let me tell you something. I'm happy. Boxing is back. But let me tell you something. You know what I'm mad about?
What's that?
Boxing is not doing good numbers.
Well, I think boxing is about to do great numbers. I think that the boxing that we just had on ESPN was Top Rank, showing that the bubble works, and they were doing one kind of fights. And now that that was done and they did their 15 shows, we're going to start seeing Saturday night fights that are big. I mean, Top Rank has a huge schedule coming up. Showtime just put out a huge schedule. Fox is going to put out a big schedule, and the Zone is starting to come out with a schedule. So it's almost like boxing is back. But we've got a big show today, Jose. Speaking of this big schedule on Showtime, we have our friend Otto Wallin is going to join us in a little bit.
Yes. I mean,
Otto's returning from COVID, from a foot injury, and he's going to be fighting on August 15th on Showtime.
Yes, he has a very tough opponent ahead of him. Travis Kaufman, he actually fought Ruiz in his last fight. And
he got knocked out by Luis Ortiz.
The guy has a great chin. He went the distance with Luis Ortiz, and it should be a great fight. I'm looking forward to that fight.
Travis Kaufman and Luis Ortiz and for Otto are almost like gatekeepers. If he can get past him, he could potentially get a fight with Luis Ortiz or Andy Ruiz or someone like that on the PBC roster, and he could be potentially one or two fights away from getting himself a heavyweight championship fight.
Most definitely. Now, Larry, my question is for you. How do you feel? We actually have combat sports back.
It's surreal. I mean, you're watching it on TV and you're like, there's no one there. We're covering it as media. We can't go to these events. It's different, but the truth is, it's pure. It's still, it's still one guy in one corner, one guy in another corner, red corner, blue corner, and it's boxing, and it's the purest form of keeping everybody just kind of distracted from all this craziness that's going on in the world. So I love it for obvious reasons, and I think boxing does it the right way.
I mean, I just saw PBC come out with a great lineup of boxing.
Oh, we're going to do a whole show on that. Their schedule is ridiculous, but
everybody's fighting.
And wait till Fox is going to put out another. They're going to do another one of these announcements in the next week or so with all the fights on Fox.
And you have Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson fighting Roy Jones Jr.
I mean, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. Could you imagine those two fighting in their prime?
Oh, man. I mean, it would have been interesting. You got a power puncher, and you have a guy that dominated the light heavyweight division for so long. They're both way past their prime, and it should be fun to watch. Two legends going at it.
Well, let me ask you this. As two guys way past their prime, clearly, but we've all seen the videos. Mike Tyson still hits like a truck. Could he, but this is an exhibition fight. So what can we expect? Is this just going to be like a little pity pat?
Let me say this. Of course.
If Mike Tyson lands his...
Listen, they're both past their primes. Roy Jones is known for his incredible speed and reflexes. He doesn't have those speed and reflexes anymore. One thing that never leaves you, though, is power.
Tyson clearly has power. We've all seen those videos that are going around the internet.
You know, and then Mike Tyson been smoking that weed, so he's gonna.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Haze. He's gonna hit him with that purple haze. I'm telling you.
Well, it's that weed company that's making Mike Tyson bigger than life all over again and allowing this comeback to happen.
I'm actually right here next to my friend Tuco, and we actually got the Tyson Ranch shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'd like some.
Did you get yours, Larry?
I'd like some Tyson Ranch something else, but I don't really need the shirt right now. But I would appreciate it.
So, Larry, you as media, you know, you work in the media, you're a boxing insider, you know.
I do.
How do you feel about the numbers that the UFC's been doing and boxing?
I think that you can't compare the two, and the reason is the UFC's been putting on their A-level pay-per-view events, and Top Rank's been putting, and they've been putting on. Well, you're talking about the numbers, and there's a reason behind the numbers. We're about to see big-time boxing come back. You see Showtime schedule. You see Top Rank schedule now that they're going to be doing fights on Saturday night. And you see the Zone schedule. Canelo's going to come back. I mean, there's going to be huge fights in front of no fans. That's crazy, but we're going to have it.
Listen to me, Larry.
I'm listening.
I'm just saying. I thought the numbers were going to be so much higher for boxing. I'm a little upset about that.
I mean, I think that you're going to see big numbers for big fights, but it's still, you can't compare when everyone's just watching the brand of the UFC versus they want to see their favorite fighter. When their favorite fighter, whether it's Terrence Crawford, whether it's Errol Spence.
Listen to this. I'm going to tell you who's one of my new favorite fighters, though. Cassius Clay Collard.
Okay.
I've become a fan overnight. This guy, former MMA fighter, boxer, he's been beating all these undefeated kids, you know. He's already fought 4 times this year. He's fought twice on these Top Rank shows. And I'm a fan. This guy comes to fight. Then you have Josue Vargas, you know. He overcame adversity. You know,
that's a nice way of saying it.
He fought in the corner, and he showed that he can overcome adversity. Then you have stars like power punching Edgar Berlanga. I mean,
no, I think from a boxing purist point of view,
yeah,
there are fighters who are young that we've never heard of before who have been put in front of a big audience
and this is perfect for them. This is perfect.
So the answer is: did the boxing see short-term numbers like some of the UFCs did? No, but did some of these boxers were they put in life-changing situations that will, you know, continue to build as time goes on? Absolutely. I'm very bullish on the future of big-time boxing just because of what Showtime and what Top Rank and what all the networks are about to do, because boxing is the easiest sport for them to just, you know, put out content.
Have you been watching the fights, Larry?
Of course.
What do you think about Clay Collard?
I like him.
This guy, listen, he's not the prettiest guy. He's not the most athletic guy. He's not the prettiest. He's not the best boxer, but he comes to fight and he's entertaining. And I love watching the guy. I mean, it's crazy. The things that we're seeing in these past few weeks in these Top Rank cards, I love it. I'm loving it. And I think a lot of people are missing out. That's what I'm saying. A lot of people are missing out on these fights.
No, well, it was weird because the boxing media, and I'll get into this on another show, is sort of corrupt. So certain people didn't really cover the Top Rank shows as well as they should have. Other people didn't really cover the Showtime announcement as well as they should have. But the fact is, these are two companies, Showtime and ESPN, or Top Rank and the PBC, who are single-handedly keeping boxing alive. Because right now you have the big-time boxing with the TV contracts are able to put on TV shows. But all the mid-level and little boxing events are really not able to do anything. I mean, they can't make money without selling tickets. So you're about to see you're about to see the haves, which are the big promoters, and the have-nots, which are the second and third tier promoters, are not going to be able to compete, at least in the next 6 months.
but I definitely. But I am looking forward to these next couple of weeks of boxing. There's a lot of good fights.
Well,
I can't wait. And
as
also,
far as
did you see
today is
yesterday?
concerned, Jose, as far as today is concerned, the only fight that matters is our friend Otto Wallin is fighting Travis Kaufman.
Yes.
And Otto
And
is going to join us in a few minutes, and we're very excited to talk to him.
I can't wait. I can't wait to ask him about his opponent. He has a guy that's been he's a tough guy. He's been in there with a lot of good guys, and
He's a tough guy, and
they both had coronavirus,
and they both are
had
at that
COVID.
point of their career where they need to beat the other guy to keep going.
Yes, but the most important thing, both of these guys had COVID. They both tested positive. They both overcame it, and they're both fighting each other. I mean, that's in the middle of a pandemic. That's interesting, and
Oh no,
I can't wait.
It's
I
a
can't
really
wait.
interesting story, and like I said, Otto is one of the nicest guys, but he hits hard.
During your time,
During
I
your
got
time.
my man Otto Wallin, and a lot of people are sleeping on him. A lot of people are sleeping on him. Nobody knew who Otto Wallin was a couple fights ago, but now he made a statement in his last fight against Tyson Fury, and
Everyone knows who he is now.
and now everybody knows who he is. And I'm telling you, keep an eye on Otto Wallin, because this kid is gonna make some noise in the heavyweight division.
Well, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Otto Wallin. Joining us now on the phone on BoxingInsider.com radio is the one and only Swedish boxing sensation, top heavyweight Otto Wallin. On August 15th, as part of the Showtime tripleheader, Otto Wallin returns to the ring following his heroic fight against Tyson Fury to battle heavyweight contender Travis Kaufman at the Mohegan Sun. Otto, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So are you excited about this fight? Tell us a little bit about Travis.
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's been almost a year since I fought Fury. That was last September. And it's been a crazy year in some ways with the pandemic and everything being shut down. I've been in New York, but I've been trying to make most of it, and I've been training all this time. But it's fun. It's nice that finally I get a fight, and fighting Travis Kaufman, he's a veteran. He has 32 wins in 35 fights, I think, and he's been in boxing his whole life. So he's a pretty good fighter. But I just think that my youth, my speed, and my movement got to be too much for him at this point in his career.
So Otto, this is a good fight for you coming back. And how do you feel, having such a tough opponent and fighting in front of really in front of nobody with no fans?
Yeah, I mean, I've known Kaufman for a while. I know he went 10 rounds with Ortiz. I've been studying that fight. I mean, he hung in there for 10 rounds. Ortiz is a very good fighter, so I respect him for that. I think Kaufman is a tough guy. But I just think, like I said, I'm younger, I'm more fresh. I think he's had some tough fights in his career. He's got a pretty fan-friendly style. Usually he gets knocked down or the opponent gets knocked down. And so it's always back and forth with him. So I think he's taken a lot of punishment in his career. And I haven't. So I think that's for that's in my favor.
And how do you feel about fighting with no fans?
No fans, I love fighting in front of fans, of course, and I never fought without fans, so it's going to be different. I don't know how it's going to feel, but I know that I want to get better, and to get better, I need fights, and I want to stay busy to get more experience and just get better. So I got to take what's out there, and right now, it's a fight without fans, but it's going to be the same for both guys, so I just got to go in there and handle business. But of course, I would like to have fans there.
I'm actually very excited that you're getting back in the ring. a lot of people have an eye on you, because you gave Tyson Fury a run for his money.
A ridiculous run for his money.
There's a lot of eyes on you. Though in my opinion, the heavyweight division is very exciting right now. And this is the fight that's going to get you back in the mix. Now, getting ready for this fight, there's been this whole COVID situation, training. I see you've been training in the parks, with Joey Gamage. How do you get ready for an opponent like Travis Kaufman, basically training in the parks?
Yeah, it's been crazy. So I've been doing a lot of training in the park and at home during the pandemic. But for about 2 months now, we've had a private gym that we've been using. So we have everything we need. It's a good boxing gym. So I have sparring. I got 2 guys. I got Cassius Shaney, 18-0 heavyweight. And then I have a Ukrainian guy, Igor Plivako. He's out of New York, and he's very good also. So I got everything I need, and I feel good for the fight. We were training at the park also, and that was nice too. Train outside a little bit, and that felt pretty good. But the gym is better, and we've had that for enough time.
Well, Otto, let me ask you a real quick question. You were talking about training outside. There was a funny video that you posted. Some guy in the park was kind of heckling you.
Yeah, this is New York. There's a lot of characters here, and they come up at any time and say whatever they want to, and then they're out of there. So,
what did they say to you?
That guy, he was saying, what was he saying? He said that somebody's gonna get knocked out. Somebody's gonna get knocked out, and stuff like that. And he asked me, "Do you want to get knocked out?" He said. I said, "By
Not
who?"
by him.
Then, I asked by who, and he said,
we should have put Larry to fight. We should have put Larry to fight him.
Let's go.
yeah. But as soon as Larry flexes those caps, they're gonna be out of there.
Inside joke.
So
Otto,
thing,
Okay, I wanted to ask Otto real quick.
Another interesting thing is you actually had COVID also, right? Am I right?
Both of them had COVID. Kaufman also had COVID.
Yeah. Wow, so
which just makes this fight very interesting.
That's very. Yeah. How was it? Battling this this flu-like thing.
What was the worst day for you, Otto, with COVID?
For me, it wasn't bad at all. I woke up one day, I had a little sore throat, and I felt a little under the weather. So I knew that the recommendations was, as soon as you feel anything, just stay home. So that was what I was doing. And it wasn't very bad. I had a light fever, like a cough and stuff, and then started getting better. And then all of a sudden, I lost all my sense of smell and taste. And that was gone for like 10 days. But then I got better. And so it wasn't that bad for me. But my mom had it too, and her boyfriend had it, and it was worse for them. They had like a high fever and a really bad flu, kind of. But we're all recovered, and I'm happy about that. But I know Kaufman had it too, like you said, and it seemed like it was worse for him.
Now, how about your injury? You're coming off of a fractured foot, and he actually just had shoulder surgery after the Ortiz fight.
Yeah. So my injury is very good now. It's been healed up, and I think I was cleared in April sometime. So it's all good now, and I'm back at full force, and I feel really good actually.
Good. So, Otto, not only are you one of my favorite heavyweights, not just because you're my friend, but you're a great fighter. There's a lot of good names out there. There's Luis Ortiz, there's Andy Ruiz. What do you think about potential matchups against Luis Ortiz and Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, I think those guys are two of the top guys, and I would be open for those fights. I just feel like they are big risks, but also big reward. So I would want a fight like that to be for something, maybe an eliminator or something. So I'm open for those fights under the right circumstances.
Those seem to be the fights that PBC would make after you win against Travis Kaufman, because they're looking to set up them or you to have obviously a future fight against the heavyweight champion, and they're PBC fighters.
Yeah, yeah. I think those two guys. Then there's a lot of guys out there. You know, they have some good heavyweights in the PBC, and those fights are probably gonna be pretty easy to make since I'm gonna be fighting on Showtime.
I'm gonna ask you a question right now. What are your opinions on Andy Ruiz switching trainers? Do you think we're gonna see a different Andy Ruiz, or are we gonna see the same Andy Ruiz we've seen in the past that can be lazy and slacks off?
You know, when you're almost 30 years old, I think he is that, right? Something like that. I mean, what is he, 28 or something? And you've been lazy your whole career pretty much. I think it's gonna be hard to change that. I think the guy is very good and he has all the skills in the world, but he shoots himself in the foot a little bit when he doesn't work hard. And if he would have been a little bit more serious when he fought Joshua the second time, could have won again. Because he didn't do too bad anyways, even though he was really out of shape. So I feel with Andy Ruiz, that's the problem, that he's lazy, and no trainer can fix that. It's gonna come from him, inside of him, and the trainer shouldn't have to push him or jet at him to get that out of him. I think that's something you have inside of you, and if you want to be champion, again, he's gotta work for it.
Definitely. Now, you fought Tyson Fury in your last fight. What was it talking to Tyson Fury in Vegas? You know, how was your relationship with him after the fight?
Otto surprised Tyson Fury at the before the Wilder fight, and you guys had a little backstage moment. If you could take us a little bit into that.
Yeah. So I mean, right after the fight, he came in my dressing room and told me I did a good job and stuff. So he seems like a nice guy, Fury, and I respect him a lot. He's a good fighter. Then when I got out there for the week before Wilder and Fury, I saw him, like Larry said, backstage there, and it was all good. You know, he's a respectable guy, and it's good. I mean, I wouldn't say that we're friends, but when we're not fighting in the ring, at least we're not fighting outside the ring.
So another question I want to ask you. Today, it was announced Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. What are your thoughts about that fight right there?
Yeah, I mean, they got to do an exhibition, and I have no idea how they're going to look. I mean, Roy Jones haven't been great lately, and Tyson coming off a long layoff. So I'm not sure, but I think it's good that they stay in shape. And like Tyson, he's on a good track, that he's in shape and taking care of himself, because he was in a bad state for a while. So I think that's a good thing, but I wouldn't want any of those guys to take any punishment.
What's your pick on that fight?
I think Tyson will beat him.
Oh, definitely.
Actually, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard, actually. Because Roy Jones, I mean, he's been active longer than... When did he retire? Like a couple of years ago?
He fought fairly recently, within the last year or two.
Yeah. I mean, that should make a difference. And I wonder what kind of shape Tyson is in, because he's got a very... his style takes a lot of energy. You know, bobbing and weaving and moving and always punching hard. So I wonder if he's going to gas or not, but we'll see. I mean, if he starts landing good shots on Roy Jones, that could be tough, and he could take him out of it.
Now, there's been talk that guys like Holyfield and other old-timers are also looking to fight Mike Tyson and possibly have an old man's division. What do you think about that?
I think, like I said, I wouldn't want them to take any punishment. At the same time, they're adults and they can do whatever they want to. If they want to do it, should be no reason why they can't. But for me, I wouldn't want to see them take punishment.
So, Fury Joshua, who wins?
I think that Fury wins because he's a very good boxer, and I think he can outbox Joshua. And I think also that he's discovering more of himself from what he did with Wilder when he was very aggressive and took Wilder out of there. But I think with Joshua that he doesn't like to look bad. I think he cares a lot about how he looks. So once Fury starts countering him and making Joshua miss, I think he can be discouraged. So I think that Fury's going to win that fight.
Definitely. I think Tyson Fury right now, he runs the heavyweight division right now. But there's a rematch with Wilder. I think, in my opinion, Fury already has Wilder's number. I think he's going to go in there in the rematch, beat him again. What are your thoughts on that?
I would think so because it was it looked very easy last time. But I think the pandemic has been good for Wilder because he gets more time to train and get ready for the fight and maybe make some adjustments. I just don't know how much adjustments he can make at this point of his career. I hope he gets in good shape and makes some adjustments, but I'm not sure. I think that Fury might have his number now and kind of discovered how to beat him too.
Hey, did you catch Wilder's video of him twerking?
Yeah, yeah. What was that?
So, this leads to my next question. Are you gonna make a bachata video dancing?
Please don't.
I need some help first.
Please don't.
Can you help me? I got some Dominican friends that I can ask too.
So, your place and your goals in the heavyweight division for the next couple years. What would you like to? How do you see your next few fights coming along?
I think that first of all, I got to take care of business with Kaufman, and that's not going to be an easy fight, but I'm ready for it. Get him out of the way, and look at one of the other guys. Maybe fight a top 10 guys or something, and hopefully I position myself to get another shot at the title. That's my main goal, of course, and I want to be champion. We haven't had a heavyweight world champion in Sweden. We only had one, and that was in the 50s. So I want to be the next champion.
Definitely. Listen, like I said, you're one of my favorite heavyweights right now. And, I feel like a lot of people are still sleeping on you, And I feel like the heavyweight division right now, it's controlled by Tyson Fury, but it's pretty much open,
But Jose,
I can't wait to see what you're gonna do.
Controlled by Tyson Fury, then that makes Otto look even better because he completely controlled Tyson Fury.
No, yeah, listen. I've
So
never
this
seen
is
Tyson
this
Fury.
is Otto's division potentially, for him, really.
Definitely, I've never seen somebody back up Tyson Fury like that in my life.
Yeah, and that of course that was a good fight. And I feel like they should have stopped it. So that would have made me. He said that he was the linear champion at that time, and then he beat Wilder to become champion. But
if they would have stopped it, Otto, your life would be a little bit different right now.
Yeah, yeah. But
they
everything happens for a reason.
That fight.
I always. I'm always training, and that just gave me more, more energy and motivation, even more than I had before. I showed myself that I belong, and now I got good momentum. A lot of people still sleeping on me, but a lot of people have noticed me too and want to see me fight. So I got to take advantage of that, give them a good fight, and start build a big following so I can get a world title.
You know, after you fought Fury, Larry hasn't been asking you to spar anymore.
I don't want any of that
True.
smoke.
He's been
That's
ducking
true.
you since.
I know.
Well, there is
He
that
wanted to spar me
video.
one day.
I don't know. There
he
is
wanted
that
to
video
spar
of
me.
you hitting me with the pad on.
Yeah, he wanted to spar me. Just go to the body, but then he had the body protector on.
It wasn't thick enough.
Yeah.
But Jose, I'd
But-
like to see you get in the ring and spar with Otto.
Nah, sorry, I'm retired. I'm sorry.
Larry, are you still active?
I for you, Otto, I am active by running very quickly away from you.
Listen, I heard Larry's gonna fight the winner of the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight. That's
No,
what I heard.
Otto should fight the winner of the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight.
Otto will hurt them.
Good. This is a fight.
No,
I mean, Mike
they're doing
Tyson
an
can still hit hard. So I mean, believe me, Tyson can
doing
hurt
an
somebody.
exhibition. They're doing an exhibition. They're old. You know, they're legends. We respect them. They can't fight a young guy like Otto. Otto's in his prime right now. Otto's the next world heavyweight champion of the world.
Otto could be the next heavyweight champion of the world. He's got a very, very easy, I don't want to say easy, but the path that is right there in front of him. He has to get through Travis Kaufman, but the path to becoming a heavyweight champion is right in front of Otto.
Hey, Otto, I'm going to tell you the secret to become a heavyweight champion of the world. You got to have Larry as your sparring partner.
I think he needs to have some good sparring partners.
Larry's hiding in Jersey.
I am hiding in Jersey.
They say they even Larry brought
nobody.
COVID to Jersey.
I did not. I definitely did not.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great to fight again. And I don't know. I hope gyms start opening up for real soon. But I don't know if that's gonna happen right now.
Has there been any talk as far as after this fight on the 15th when you might be able to fight again?
No, we haven't had any talks about that at all. It depends. I guess it depends on how the fight goes. If it's an easy fight, and I get him out of there quick, then I can fight sometime soon. And if it's a tougher fight, maybe I need some longer in between.
Well, Otto, then finish this guy quickly so we can see you fight again.
Yeah. I'll do it for you, Larry.
Please, and I appreciate that.
It's Donya time. It's Donya time, guys. I'm telling you, it's Donya time.
You know what time it is? It's Donya
It's
time.
Donya time. Yes, sir.
It's time for Otto to grab the brass ring and to live out his dreams of becoming heavyweight champion of the world.
And with
I
that,
guarantee you, 2021, he will become world champion. Guarantee you. They sleeping on my man, Otto Wallin.
That would be a mistake.
Just
To sleep on him, not that he won't be the champion. Otto, you will be the champion in 2021.
Don't sleep on those.
Don't sleep on
Don't
him.
sleep on those light eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, that's my dream. You know, becoming heavyweight champion, and that's why I work so hard every day to be that. And yeah, time will tell.
Well, Otto, thank you very much for joining us today on BoxingInsider.com radio, and we wish you the best of luck in your fight coming up, and we hope to speak with you soon afterwards.
Thank you very much for having me.
And
Time,
I see you're doing a lot of
time.
boxing media, and please keep it up. You need to be everywhere right now to promote yourself and this fight.
Yeah, I will. And it's Donya time.
Take care, my brother.
Okay, take care, guys.
I'll see you, Otto. Thank you.
See you
All
soon.
right.
Bye.
Jose, that was really cool. We got a chance to talk to our old friend Otto. I mean, it feels like this pandemic is over. I mean, you, me, Otto, we're all together again.
Definitely. I'm back, baby. I missed everybody.
It wasn't the
I
same
know you
without
guys
you.
missed me, too.
Of course
And
we
I
missed
miss
you.
New York. I miss New York.
Oh, thank God. You have no idea how much we all miss New York.
I definitely miss New York. I miss my home. I miss my friends. I miss my kids. I miss everybody.
Now let's talk a little bit about the boxing gym situation in New York. Nobody knows what's going on. They've been closed for like 120 some days.
Listen, you know, it's been tough because, you know, like me as a trainer, we live from boxing, from training these people. And all the gyms are closed in New York. You know, people have got to train outside. You know, me as somebody that trains fighters, I can't train my fighters in gyms. It's been tough, you know. It's been very tough for us trainers.
Now, some of your fighters, you had some really good, I don't want to say any names, but some really good amateur fighters. Have most of them stay in shape? Do you think that they're going to be able to, when this passes, they're going to be able to kind of pick up where they were left off?
I mean, it's tough, you know, because, you know, there's no fights, there's no gyms open. You know, it's tough for them to stay in shape. Only thing you can really do is, like, run or do mitts outside. You know, it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time for them to bounce back. It's gonna take some time for amateur boxing to come back in New York City, and it really sucks.
Now, while the rest of us were here hiding, you know, in the suburbs, and we were doing the podcast, you hopped on an airplane. You went down to Florida. You were training with Josue Vargas. You went out to his fight.
I was working with Josue Vargas. You know, I'm part of his team. We trained hard for like a month and a half down in Orlando, Florida. We got him ready. You know, we fought in Vegas. We won despite, you know, the circumstances and the hard times and everything that happened.
Well, Jose, I got to put you on the spot here. What happened?
You know, the bubble, you know, there's basically, you're only allowed 2 trainers. So his manager was in the corner and his father. And his father broke the rules, you know. He stepped out real quick. He got caught and, you know, he couldn't work the corner.
Now, if I remember what happened, by complete coincidence, a trainer that he had worked with many years ago was in the bubble, and therefore his fight was able to continue because somebody was already cleared.
Yes. Basically, that's what happened. You know, I wasn't able to get tested in time to get in the bubble. So he had a great trainer there. You know, that we all know. We all grew up around him with his Chino Rivas, and you know he was there. And thank God. But you know, we still got the victory. You know, no matter what, and that's all that mattered. You know, at the end of the day, he shined. You know, even though he lost his teeth, he got cut.
Well, let's talk about the teeth a little bit. How many teeth did he lose?
Yeah, he lost 2, but a lot of people don't know those are veneers. You know, he had gotten an operation like a couple months before that because he had gotten headbutted in sparring, and he had prior veneers to that. So they had to replace
He just
them.
cracked his veneers, is what you said. It wasn't his teeth.
No. So what happened is prior to sparring before the fight, a couple months when New York was open, he had got headbutted and his tooth got loose. So they took them out and they put him a new bone. But the thing is, they had to let the bone heal. So they put veneers, fake veneers, onto the bone grew in so he could get, you know, some teeth in. And basically what happened is he got headbutted and the veneers came out. But there wasn't really solid teeth, you know.
It wasn't painful.
It wasn't painful, no. It just, when took out the mouthpiece, it was there. The teeth came out with the same headbutt that cut him.
Well, we look forward to having Josue on the show in the near future. Now let me talk to you about our other friend, Dominique Crowder. Dominique he's now 5-0 or 6-0?
He's 5-0 with 4 knockouts. Dominique is a great prospect that I have, that I train along Mark Breland. You know,
say that again, Jose, because that sounds so amazing that you train along with Mark Breland, who is an absolute legend in this business.
Yes, I have the pleasure to, you know, work along Mark Breland. I know Mark since I was a kid, so you know, working with a fighter with him is amazing. You know, he had the world heavyweight champion of the world, Deontay Wilder. But me and Dominique, as soon as Swift fought, we went down to New Orleans, Louisiana. We went in training camp there, and we got ready for a few weeks. We fought in Georgia, and we fought a guy that had 30-something professional fights, and we got him out of there in the second round with some body shots.
Now, what was the atmosphere like there?
Oh man, the fight in Georgia, it was crazy. Let me tell you something. First of all, they had MMA fights in one side, boxing fights in the other. It was outdoors, and there was hundreds of people there.
Were they socially distancing? I have to ask.
There was no social distancing.
Were people wearing masks?
I think the only guys wearing masks in there was our team, because I make sure my fighters are taking
I don't
care
want to
of
single
themselves.
out the promoter, but what's this guy thinking?
But it was a show outdoors. It was outdoors. There's a lot of people there, and it was crazy. I was like, wow, can't believe this is happening.
Were they tested at all?
Excuse me?
Was Dominique tested before the fight?
Yes, we all had to get tested. We all had to get tested, and those that came to the fight and they didn't have a test, they tested them right then and there, and they would have their results in 20 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
And let me tell you something. There was a couple fights that got dropped because a few people they were positive.
Now you're back in Florida, right?
Now I'm back in Florida. I have a lot of doors opening. I'm working with a couple of MMA fighters, some UFC fighters, and it's been a blessing. I mean, but I'm working with some legends, and I love it, man. COVID has been bad to some people. We've lost a lot of friends.
We definitely did.
But throughout all this storm, there's been some light in it for me because a lot of doors have opened, and I'm blessed.
That's great to hear. Well, Jose, thank you very much for joining us on this edition of BoxingInsider.com Radio, and I hope you're going to be back for all of these going forward.
Of course. I'm always here. If I'm not busy, I'm here.
Well, he's usually busy, guys.
Hey, and let's not forget, Curtis. I know you love your wife, so he loves you.
We miss Curtis.
We miss you.
We miss Henry.
Yeah,
we miss Curtis. We miss being in the studio every Monday night.
Henry, your hair looks great. Your tan looks great. Larry, I mean,
I know. What can you do? What can you do?
Bumble must be treating you well because everybody's locked up.
But Bumble is treating me lovely, let me tell you.
Rest in peace, Nelson Cuevas. Rest in peace, Francisco Mendez.
I mean, it's funny you're saying. I don't want to say funny, but you say that. I mean, I'm thinking about Nelson a lot, and what a tremendous impact he made in my life in a short term, on your life, on many lives, from Mike Tyson all the way to people like us. And I mean, that was for a lot of people when they didn't want to believe this was real. This was all hype. And then we lost our friend right as this began. That was like the gut punch that said this is real. And it was like some of us never really got past that.
Yeah, man. I mean, not only did I lose them, I lost aunts, uncles, friends, and hey, listen, we're still here, and we just gotta keep pushing forward, keeping their names alive.
We gotta keep pushing forward and use this podcast and use the sport of boxing as a distraction for all the craziness that's just going on in the world right now.
It's like Mendes used to say, we have everything but fear, and that's how we gotta,
I miss that man too. This guy, and we talked about this before, but this guy, Mr. Mendez, for those of you who don't know, if you're not in the New York boxing scene, he owned a gym called Mendez Boxing, which was a big big help to both Larry and Jose here. He put together this gym from nothing and just was like, there were hundreds of people that came out of the woodwork that had a better life or a point in a better direction because of this man. It was insane to see her, because we didn't see this when we were seeing on a daily basis, but afterwards it was heartwarming how much this man, affected so many lives through boxing.
Yeah, like, this is what I say. Listen, my father taught me everything I know about boxing. I learned everything I know about boxing because of my father. But if it wasn't for Mendez and him giving me the opportunity in his gym, him and Nelson, because I had to sit down with Nelson too. If it wasn't for those two people right there, I would not be the trainer I am today. And for that, I'm forever grateful. And it's because of them I am where I'm at today.
Well, may they both rest in peace, and they were really, really good people to both of us, and many others, I must say. Well, Jose,
For sure.
We will be in touch very soon. Guys, thank you very much for joining us here on BoxingInsider.com radio.
Yes, sir, guys.
Stay up to date with all things Boxing Insider at BoxingInsider.com and across all social.
It's fact. I'm the best. You know what I mean? Sometimes I don't want to believe it myself, but it's the truth. I'm the best.
Until next week's fight, go to your premier boxing destination, BoxingInsider.com.